Hello world. Your growth in the engineering ladder is directly proportional to the ambiguous nature of the problems that you solve. Yes, I know it can be sometimes very daunting to look at a very complex project or a problem and have no idea where to start. These 5 tips can help you when you find yourself in such a situation. So watch and enjoy. Number 1, seek to understand. Really sit with the problem in your head and ask all the questions to yourself. What does this project mean? What does this problem mean? Is it really a problem? What is it that you're really trying to solve? Just get all the questions flowing in your brain and then list them down. Bucket them into prioritized set of questions that you want answers to and assign a name to it. Who would you ask to get answers to these questions? This is really important first step for dealing with a large ambiguous project. Sometimes you will run into a question that nobody knows answers to, or perhaps it's too daunting to get an answer to. Nobody knows it, or people haven't gone down that path before of asking that question. Make a note of that question. That is where your solution boundary begins. That is likely a place where you have to start thinking about a solution. Number 2, pull from your experience. You might have had a project in the past that looks similar to what you're trying to solve. There is no harm in bringing those learnings and important lessons from those experience to the project or the problem at hand. Ground yourself to the problem, and that is important because oftentimes we are biased by our historical knowledge about how problems and solutions work, and we might just find ourselves doing the same thing over and over again. So have those experiences, list them down, but ground yourself in the problem at hand. Maybe your experience doesn't really directly map to the solution, in which case you should actually seek outside help or learn more, learn a different approach, and then come back to the problem at hand. Number 3, write things down. Have you ever noticed that when you sit down in a calm room and you pick up a pen and paper, the ideas just start flowing? That is because when you write things down, something magical happens in your brain. When you think about the problems and your creative juice start flowing and you start thinking outside the box, that is actually a very good quality to harness within yourself. So pick up a pen, write down the boundaries of all your problem, what you learned, what all the questions and answers that you gathered, and then just start thinking about the problem, and you will find that a number of solutions just start popping out. Some of them might be crappy, but who cares? It's your private space that you're writing things down. There is no need to be shy about ideas, and that's how out of the box thinking is usually born. Number 4, divide and conquer. When you're dealing with a large and complex project, you might find yourself staring at a bottomless abyss. You don't know where to start, and you don't know how to take the dive. This is where dividing and conquering can come in real handy. So when you're sitting down with a problem, really think about how you can divide it into small pieces that can then be solved independently without much dependencies between them. And when you do solve them, you can tie all of them together into a solution that works. A team boundary is a good way to split or divide the problem and assign it to the team, the engineers on the team, to see if they can take those individual chunks of problems and solve them in their space, and then tie them together through service calls or some mesh network, whatever. Maybe that may not, if that doesn't work, perhaps you could think of problem as like a milestone, an iterative approach. For example, you don't have to solve the world hunger, but can you actually put a booth in the corner of your street where people can stop by for a quick pack of food, whatever you can offer, instead of going to a local food bank? So Try to really think, be creative, and try to divide the problem into small chunks. Don't worry about scaling at this point. Worry about local optima. Number 5. So you have done everything to understand the problem, you have written it down, and you have searched in your experience, and you've also tried to divide it into smaller pieces. But the solution just doesn't hit you yet. It is time to get some help. Maybe there are people in your organization who have seen a similar pattern before. Maybe there is a buddy that you can pair up with who you can use as a sounding board for the different solutions. Maybe you just have to kick it up to management and say, hey, I'm really stuck on this. I could use some help. Maybe they will connect you with someone who can mentor and guide you through this journey of solving a problem. Asking help is actually shows a sign of maturity in an engineer. Leadership would rather see someone who's struggling and asking for help than someone who's struggling and stuck in one place silently. So don't be afraid to ask help when you're really stuck. It shows that you have a growth potential and you can actually grow in your role, and you're being pushed to the boundary. Important to take that learning and apply it in your future projects. Not just the actual solution itself, but the approach or the way the mentor or the guide or the partner thought about when thinking about the solution can sometimes be very helpful to you. I hope you found these 5 tips really helpful and you're able to apply it in your project. If you like it and you want to share your own experience, please comment below and subscribe to this channel to see more videos. Until next time, good luck out there.